Well, hi folks, welcome once again to Pete's Kitchen Garden. It's Saturday the 17th of June, about 8 o'clock in the evening, and it has been absolutely glorious. I think it has been everywhere in the country today, more or less. It's been, well, the forecast are 28 degrees. We're south facing and quite sheltered, so I'm willing to bet it's been at least 30, at least in this garden anyway. I've done a bit of weeding, a few other bits and bobs, and spent a bit of time in the shade. It's been a good day. It's my weekend off, and I work in retail, so I don't get loads of weekends off, and I have dropped on so lucky. Now anyone who watches my videos regularly knows that it's mainly about the veg, but I have to say the last year or two I've really got more into my sort of plants and flowers, and I'm going to cover a little bit of that in the videos as well. So I apologise if anybody's not into that. I don't have a great deal of subscribers and people watching these videos at the minute, so I think that I need to firstly make sure that it's fun for me. But veg is still going to be the main thing. It's going to be the backbone, and there's always going to be plenty of that in every video. But yeah, I mean, the borders, for example, just to have this colour is fantastic. So just sort of quickly, I've mentioned this before, this border here, they're annuals. Any of those of you out there who've been gardening for a while will obviously know that. They've all been started from seed except the lobelia. Now I did the same thing last year and bought all the plants. I'm so proud how these have turned out, just brilliant. The only thing that I didn't do from seed was the lobelia, because for some reason it just took ages to grow, so I ended up buying that. But you know, you can't win them all. The perennial and evergreen border, so this is basically stuff either evergreen, green all the time, or comes back year after year as perennial. The great thing about this, of course, is I don't have to keep buying plants every year, and this is a more permanent border really, whereas the one in front of the vegetable beds, this gets sort of, you know, resown and planted every year, and it looks nice until, you know, back end of September, or, you know, depending on the weather, and you take them all out and start again next year. But if you're looking for something a bit more low maintenance, then perennials are worth looking at. They do need a bit of, you know, pruning back and things like that, but they're generally not very demanding. I can't recommend highly enough with this kind of border that you use a mulch. So every year, sort of every early spring, I just top this up with chip bark, and keeps the weeds down, keeps the moisture in. You don't have to water it as much. It's got lots of benefits, to be honest. It's well worth doing, and of course, because it's wood chip, it'll just break down into the soil, and you can just keep adding to it every year, and it actually improves the structure of the soil as well. Wow, I'm being a bit educational today. I don't normally do this kind of video. I will get out of my chair in a minute, I promise, but look at them sweet peas there in front of the shed, looking lovely. And you don't often see this angle, so this is kind of the decking. That's a you know, wood burner that we've been given. A little table set. That looks like some kind of NASA satellite, but it's a parasol. It's tilted back at the minute just to sort of keep that evening low sun off. And then the planters on the decking. You know, normally I'm right on top of them when I'm filming them, but yeah, you've got dahlias, calendulas. There's a tumbling tom in there. In fact, do you know what? I'm going to get up off my lazy arse and get a little bit closer. Yeah, so sorry about the finger swipe in front of the camera. Professional as always. But yeah, there's lobelias, pansies, all sorts in there. I'm not going to go through it all, but you get the idea. Bit of colour. Potatoes, right, okay, we'll jump into the veg now. So potatoes, they look a little bit floppy. They were a little bit wilty because it's been so hot today. I've given them a really good water, and that sort of pushed some of them over slightly, but I'm not worried about that. They'll bounce back. We've already emptied one of these pots. We got a decent little, you know, a couple of meals worth out. We did harvest them a couple of weeks early. We did this intentionally because we've still got another 7 to go at, so I think I said that last video, so you know, you get the idea with potatoes. In a few weeks time, when they're sort of at the 100 days, we'll still have 4 or 5 buckets left, so I think we're going to get plenty of them. But these are, or should I say were, flowering. They had flowers on them, especially the ones at the back, and something's just bitten them off or nipped them off. A bird, I suspect. I don't really know if that makes any difference to the potatoes or not. I'm really not sure. If anyone would like to enlighten me, please do. So, these beetroot, there you go. So these are the ones that I did in clumps, and you can see there we've got some decent size. It'll not be too long before we'll be harvesting these, and the idea is that we use them as baby beets, some fresh and some pickled. In this row, this is where we had the overwintering garlic, which I've harvested today, and I'll show you that in a bit. But I've put a row of beetroot in here, but sown in a row in the traditional way, and we'll grow some bigger ones. Sugar snap peas, they've got flowers on them. Sowed some more a second sowing because the first lot didn't work. That was about a week ago, so fingers crossed. The radish, so the ones that were here, we've harvested them, they were lovely. I've put some French breakfast in here, and then I've put today some more in there that I can't remember the variety, the round ones basically. Spring onion, these couple were planted before these ones. We've got some younger ones at the front, and I've done another row here. So I just want to keep the succession with the radish and spring onion. We use them a lot. Another thing I want to try and keep succession with is the lettuce. But so far, I don't seem to be having much joy. So I put some seeds in. They were the ones that were going to follow these this row. They were just rubbish, and the germination wasn't very good. So I did them again. They started germinating, and then we had a barbecue, and one of the little ones just started emptying the pots, seeds, compost and everything. So it was too late when we realised. Never mind, you know, these things happen. I'm sorry I keep putting my finger over the lens. The strawberries, I'm just going to pan back a little bit. Got the sun. Can't see them that well through the netting, but we've actually harvested some of these today. Only a bowlful, so we kind of had a handful of them each, you know. But oh, they were lovely, absolutely gorgeous. Fresh strawberries, you cannot beat it. I'm so glad that I let my wife talk me into doing them, and obviously there's a lot more to come. What did you think to them strawberries, Liam?
They were really tasty.
They were really tasty.
The first one was really sour, and then I got like these are delicious, and we had about 3 or 4 each, and
yeah.
they were beautiful.
Well, I think maybe you had 5, but yeah, they were nice, weren't they? So
I love them so much.
The pond, obviously the fountain's not working now because the solar panel's not got sun on it. As you know, I'm changing that next year. I'm really sorry I keep putting my finger over the bloody lens. I do apologise. Little lantern thing. So this is a rechargeable battery. It's solar powered, and at night time it's really good. It lights up and it really does look like a candle. It kind of flickers. It's been running. I bought it 3 weeks ago and it's worked consistently every night. So yeah, I don't think it's a 10-season product, to be fair. It was only about 5 or something like that from B&M, I think, but you know, it'll do the rest of this season, and if it goes beyond that, it's a bonus. Right, overwintering garlic. So I told you that I'd taken this out. Here it is. Here it is. I mean, do you know what? I overwinter my garlic every year, and it just never fails. I don't know, it just seems to work. I'm sure, you know, there'll be one year when, for whatever reason, it won't work, just gardener's luck. But honestly, guys, overwintering garlic. I'm in South Yorkshire, so if you've got a similar climate to here or you're in the UK, it's definitely worth thinking about. My only regret is that they do smell really strongly. My only regret is that I didn't do.
In the middle of the day, just sunbathing.
Yeah, you could smell them over there. Yeah. But yeah, I just wish I'd have done a couple of rows. I only did one row.
Taste nice.
So we'll do that next year. Kale, I've pricked those out of the trays and put them in there today. They've been outside in the seed tray. That's where they've grown, that's where they've germinated. So that's where they're staying. Yes, these are very late, depending on, you know, You see, we use kale over winter. It really is an overwinter crop for us. So you know, we don't really want it to be ready until, say, November, and we kind of want it to last right through till the end of March. You know, typically January, February are the coldest months, and you know, this is something that you can have during those months. So I do mine late. I've done them even later this year, and I'm hoping, I mean, I don't know how long the cabbage whites are around, but I'm hoping that I'll miss the sort of worst of that. But we'll see, I could be completely wrong. It has been known. Some geraniums at the back there that are just waiting for a home. So, yeah, little orphans. Right, okay, so onions, carrots, you can see. I mean, I'm just, you know, the onions have kind of, get my finger in the right place, stood up more, really, these last few days. I think sometimes onions, when you start them off, you get that thing where the leaves fold over, but these have really shot up, and it's not surprising with the weather. The rows of carrots in between are really coming up well. I can't see them clearly at the minute because I've kind of got the sun right in my face, but I'm hoping that you guys can. And yeah, you know, leeks. I think I put these. Look at this. This needs weeding. I've weeded over the other side of the garden, but that's quite shameful actually. But yeah, the leeks are still doing well. I think when I did the last video, I'd put these in and I'd explained about why I'd put the string there, so we'll not dwell too much on that. We're going to. We'll just have a quick look at this bit. Sweet peas. So. Yeah, I mean, they're just starting, you know, when we get, you know, when they're all flowering, we'll get a really good sort of, hopefully, a wall of colour. That's the idea that I had at the beginning of the season, or should I say, the back end of last season in the winter when I was kind of bored and couldn't get out in the garden. It's when you do most of your thinking, isn't it? Calendulas at the front with the buds on. There are some wildflower seeds I put in, and whilst there are some, I think there's one. If I can find it, I'm doing that thing again, aren't I, where I take you on some kind of magical mystery tour around a plant. But there is
like
somewhere around there anyway. I don't know where it is, but it's got little yellow flowers on. But anyway, my point is, I've not had loads of them germinate really. There's a few in there, and it'd be easy to show you them when they're a little bit bigger. But you know, I'm sure when them when everything's sort of in colour there, it'll look nice. This Acer I moved here. I had it planted just a bit further down the garden there. Now the only thing with this garden is, as I said earlier, we are south facing, we are quite sheltered, but also when we do get wind, it rushes through here, across these beds, and it goes through the gap over there between the house and next door. You get this wind tunnel. So it doesn't like that, and also that spot gets quite a lot of sun. And Acers don't like too much sun, they don't like too much wind, so I do want a permanent place in the garden for it eventually, but for now I'll keep it there in the pot. It seems happy, it started to put a new shoot out, so I'm just going to leave it be for now and figure out what I'm going to do with that.
Hopefully in a few months it'll be moved to a different spot.
Hopefully it will, Liam. Evergreen board, not much to say about that. This just needs to bush out. These plants in, you know, another year's time, couple of years' time will look great, and this will just be large bushes of evergreen. But you know, it's still in its early stages. Right, I think I'm just going to show you this before we go into the greenhouse, and you can see there's quite a lot of blackcurrants on there. And Liam, what do these blackcurrants taste like?
I haven't tasted them before.
Alright, they taste like blackcurrant.
Obviously, because they are blackcurrants.
I thought you'd tasted one.
No.
Okay, into the greenhouse. Now, I mean, these, I don't know, this is just, I'm so pleased. The last couple of years, last year I did okay with my tomatoes, but they got blight before I got too many of them. The year before that was a disaster, and these just look so healthy. You know, I've done things quite differently this year. Started them a bit later, which I think was the main reason why they're doing quite well. And I'm just going to zoom in there because you can see a tomato, but further down there's a truss of tomatoes there. So you know, it's you know, there as well. they're doing what they should be doing, and it won't be too long before I'll be pinching the tops out. I always do that before they touch the glass of the greenhouse, because the thing is, I don't need them to grow massively tall. I mean, there are 3 of us living here, and we do have occasional visitors, but, you know, 6 tomato plants, and I've got loads of tumbling toms, so that's enough for me. When they get to a certain height, I'll pinch them out and just let them start producing. They're the tumbling toms in the hanging baskets. They're starting to flower. So we'll see what we get from them. Also, I had a few of them that I didn't know what to do with, and I was saying I might plant them down in front of the cucumbers. Well, that's exactly what I decided to do. They're a bit more shaded down there, but I just thought, why not? The spare plants, you know, if we don't get anything off them, then, you know, we've got plenty of tomatoes to go at. Cucumbers, here we go. Now these are a snack variety, so the idea is
you can pick them
they
at
grow
this
about
size.
they grow about 4 inches long and maybe 2 inches thick, and you can just pick them when they're little. You don't have to have look, that looks like a big cucumber, but look at it next to me and it's not. You don't have to have like half a cucumber stuck in your fridge over a few days, you know, turning brown. I'm just going to swing round. I appear to be holding the iPad sort of upside down to how I normally do, which is why I keep accidentally putting my finger in the shot. But I'm not the most technological person. I'm not bad, you know what I mean, but I'm not great. So yeah, a bit of lettuce there. It's just been sown.
It's not mindless.
And what looks like a chilli plant, and I hope isn't a chilli, because it should be a pepper plant really, because the one next to it that's exactly the same variety supposedly has what looks like a pepper on it. These, I seem to be doing well with peppers this year. Now I have mentioned that I've struggled with them in the past, but because of the way the weather's been, and again I think I've not put them in too early, done a few things differently. You know, it's looking good so far to think that it's only the middle of June. No. But we'll see. I don't want to curse myself. And that's about it, folks. I mean, it's just been a gorgeous day. It's been a really nice day in the garden. I've really enjoyed it out here. Hi, Liam. Yeah, just, you know, everything so far seems to be doing really well. It's been mostly dry, very hot at times. We have had a little bit of rain. We had about a week of rain not so long back, which, you know, helped. But we've not had loads in the way of rain, but it's been pretty good, really. I can't be done with people who moan about the weather, to be honest. I mean, the British weather's, you know, it is what it is, and, you know, I think people tend to forget the nice days. They remember, you know, the rainy days, and vice versa. And, you know, it's just one of those things. It's the weather. Get on with it. Stop moaning. Anyway, I'll leave you with that thought, guys. And until the next time, thanks for watching. Hope you guys are all having a great time out in your gardens. Look after yourselves. Take care. And bye for now.